Hey everyone, Shadowwraith back again, this time with a Endgame Titan Stasis build. So this will be for like Legend, Master level content, that type of thing if you're trying to farm the Lost Sectors for the exotics. Solar is also really good, but this one, when you're under light, is great because you can control champions with the Stasis grenades. So here you can see I'm running the Artifact mod that gives me my grenade back instantly when I overload a champion. And then I can have a infinite loop here where I freeze the champion, and then overload it with a scout rifle, and then that gives me my nade, and I can refreeze. Some other things this build will have are Warmind cells for the ad clear because it's amazing. Even in higher level activities, having Warmind cells just saves you time and ammo. And then we're going to be running weapons that will allow us to do anti-barrier and overload. If you're running into unstoppable champions, you can tweak one of those to run unstoppable mods. And then we're running a Xenophage for our heavy, just to burn down champions. And then again, the artifact mod, which will drop heavy ammo when we finish a champion. So you can see finishing that champion gave me heavy ammo. It's hugely important when you're running Xenophage because it lets you use Xeno to shoot a lot of things. And then other than that, you'll also have very quick ability regen due to the aspects and fragments we're using. So you can see I threw the grenade, and then I get a damage boost as well after freezing enemies. And then you'll see the little buff on the side that gives me grenade ability regen when I shatter crystals. So overall, this build is really good. The footage in the background is from a legend level Lost Sector running it solo for exotic farming. And it's like I'm above level here, so I have some guides for under level, but you can see how quickly you can kind of run through the overall Lost Sector itself and deal with champions. And then again, finishing gives you a ton of heavy ammo. Once you get to the boss, you'll be able to just burn it down in like one, maybe two clips if you're significantly under level. And then one other thing this build has is the new exotic that lets you use your barricade to get an overshield. And here you can see once you pop super, you don't keep the overshield. I wanted to test that out and see. Unfortunately, I didn't keep it. But the super itself, you can see how much survivability it has. So great for ad clearance and control. But as you can see, it took less than 4 minutes to farm this Legend Lost Sector solo. If that looks interesting to you, great, let's jump into the build. So we are, of course, going to be running Behemoth Titan subclass with Glacial Quake, Towering Barricade, Strafe Lift, Shiver Strike. You can switch around the jumps and stuff if you want. But we're going to be running Glacier Grenade because of the aspects and fragments that we have access to right now. I really like Duskfield Grenade as well. Cold Snap if you really like it, but Glacier works really well with the Titan aspects. So you have Cryoclasm, where you can slide through to explode crystals. And then you also have Tectonic Harvest, where shattering these crystals will create a stasis shard that will help recharge your melee. Whisper of Hedrons for the fragment will give you increased damage when you freeze something, so it's 25% damage buff, really huge. And then Whisper of Shards, shattering stasis crystal, boosts your grenade recharge rate. This works really well with Glacier Grenade. And then you can use Whisper of Refraction. Defeating slower frozen targets grants class ability energy to get your barricade up more frequently, or you could use Whisper of Bonds. I feel like on Titan you don't freeze stuff as much as Warlock, so Whisper of Bonds isn't quite as useful from Titan. And then you could use Whisper of Durance if you want, but these are the ones that I'm enjoying right now. And then real quick, the exotic I'm running is Icefall Mantle. This will replace the barricade ability with a personal armor. Like, it basically just gives you an overshield. It's the new exotic. You can farm it from solo Lost Sectors, and highly recommend it. It's really nice for these high-level content builds. Some other exotics, if you do not have this yet, you could use something like One-Eyed Mask, which is more of a PvP exotic, but if it's all you got, you can try it. Axiom War Rig works really well for auto rifles and Xenophage reloading, or Armamentarium for that extra grenade. There's some other options. If you have an exotic that you like, feel free to run it. But Icefall Mantle is great for this. Then we're going to be running Patron of Lost Causes for the Overload Scout Rifle. I much prefer Scouts to auto rifles here. I just feel like they're more consistent, at least for my playstyle. But if you really like auto rifles, hey, feel free to use an auto rifle there instead. And then IKELOS SMG. This will give us anti-barrier plus Warmind cells, plus it can roll Demolitionist to get us grenades back more quickly. And then we're running Xenophage for the higher damage. at longer ranges, and generally you'll want to stay longer range in solo content because it's safer. Alternatives: 7th Seraph Officer Revolver. If you're running into unstoppable champions, you could use that. Heritage, the new Raid Shotgun if you got that for lower level content. Long Shadow. You could even use Friction Fire for anti-barrier. And then alternatives in the energy slot, there's some great ones. 7 Seraph SMG. That also procs Warmind cells, very, very similar to the IKELOS SMG. You could run the Stars in Shadow Pulse Rifle if you want to stay farther away for anti-barrier. First in, last out, IKELOS Sniper, Truth Teller with blinding nades, Xenophage. Like, there's a lot of options here. If you're running with a fire team, feel free to run a special weapon. If you're running solo, you have to be able to deal with champs. In the heavy slot, you could run, again, with a fire team. Swords are great because you can have somebody revive you. If you're running solo, it's a little risky. If you're very underlevel and have Anarchy, highly recommend using Anarchy because it is great for damaging while you're hiding. As far as the artifacts, we're going to be running Surge Eater to recharge the grenade when we overload a champion. As you saw in the clip, it's great. And then Spoils of War, this is huge for Xenophage. Finishing a champion gives you heavy ammo. And then Anti-Barrier SMG or Pulse Rifle, Overload Scout Rifle, or Auto Rifle. That's the main thing. And then Unstoppable Hand Cannon if you are facing Unstoppables. All right, armor mods. We're going to be running Rage of the Warmind, which adds solar damage to Warmind cell explosions. Keep this in mind for later. And then Machine Gun Ammo Finder for Xenophage. Change Shotgun to whatever you want. And then Resilience mod. Then Icefall Mantle again. Wrath of Rasputin. Solar Splash Damage Final Blows have a chance to create a Warmind cell. So now, because of Rage of the Warmind, this makes Warmind cells proc more Warmind cells. And then we have Overload, Anti-Barrier, and Resilience. And then we have Taking Charge, become Charged with Light by picking up Orbs of Power. You can use this or a different one like Charge Harvester if you prefer. This is just to get charged with light. And then Sniper Damage Resistance for survivability and Concussive Dampener. Both of these are very nice to have. Then we have Protective Light. While charged with light, when your shields get broken, you gain significant damage resistance. This is huge for survivability in high-level activities. This is why we're running Taking Charge to get charged with light. Highly recommend it. Machine Gun Scavenger, again, for Xenophage, and then Sword Scavenger, switch it to whatever you're running. And then a Resilience mod. And then lastly, we have Global Reach, which will make our Warmind cells affect things at a longer range. So now we have long-range Warmind cells that make more Warmind cells. Spoils of War for the heavy ammo on finish, and then the grenade when you overload champions. Overall, I just threw a bunch at you. I'll show you in a low-level lost sector. Here's what you do. Toss a grenade. That'll freeze an enemy, giving you a damage boost. Slide through it to break them, which gives you grenade regen. And then your Demolitionist on IKELOS will also give you grenade energy. So you can see we've already got our grenade back. And then killing things with IKELOS gives you Warmind cells, which then spawn more Warmind cells. And then you can use your Barricade for a personal shield. Xenophage for long-range damage to the boss. And Xenophage will also proc Warmind cells because it is a solar explosive weapon. And then lastly, you can see how much damage this overshield can take. So I've got all these guys hitting me. And then when I freeze or slow enemies, that will give me some energy back for my barricade. So you can see right there, I kill maybe 3 or 4, and I already have half of my barricade energy back. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and if you did, would really appreciate the like or the subscribe. Thanks for watching, and catch y'all next time.